Colonel Dr. G.Santhosam, and my fellow co-panelist, Mr. Dinakaran sir, Mr. Raja Ganeshan. At the outset, I thank the World Tamils Economic Foundation and Madras Development Society and my long-standing friend, Dr. V.R.S. Sampath, for giving me this opportunity, an excellent opportunity, to participate in this session and to share some of my thoughts with all of you. In this era of globalization, liberalization, privatization, technology explosion, forward integration, backward integration, rationalization, specialization, complication in the name of simplification, diversification, globalization, and then recession, demonetization. What is the resulting emerging scenario? Confusion. This is the resulting scenario. How to face this competition is the million-dollar question. When my predecessor from Singapore, he has mentioned about everything flat. When the real estate value goes up, what the traffic can bear based on that principal taxing and all that, what he said. Ours is a complex, considering the fact many states are there. You take the GST, the manufacturing states like Tamil Nadu, Maharashtra, Punjab, they have the problem of losing revenue. That's why the former CM of Tamil Nadu, Selvi Jayalalitha madam, opposed it tooth and nail for the reason there will be so much leakage of revenue will be there for the manufacturing states because of the system, because of the GST system. The consumption states will benefit more. The northeastern states will be benefiting more. And where there is no manufacturing facility, they will be benefiting more. That was the issue involved. So that is the reason why, in a very socialistic pattern, like India, it's a bit difficult to compare it with the countries like Singapore, where a flat rate could be adopted. That's why it's a welfare state. Our chairman has rightly said, when Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel, Indiaviன் இரும்பு மனிதர், when he went to USA, the press people asked him, you come from India, what is your culture? Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel said, our culture is agriculture. This is what he has mentioned actually. Vyavasai. In one single word, you reflect the grassroots. If you are grassrooted, you cannot be uprooted. It is firmly in the ground. He is a grassrooted person, he said. That's why it's a welfare state. The second one is, Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel has to inaugurate a doctors' conference. There are allopathy doctors, there are homeopathy doctors. Allopathy doctors say, we only represent the true medicine. Homeopathy doctors say, no, 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 we only represent the true medicine. There is a clash. Who represents the true medicine? The allopathy doctor says, we only give result orientation. Homeopathy doctor say, there will be allergy. If that fellow gives a medicine, there won't be any side effect if you take our pills. Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel is the chief guest. He has come and taken the podium. Everybody is very eagerly listening. What will be his adjudication process? Whom he is going to adjudicate as the true doctor? Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel came to the podium. He took the mic and he said, whether it is allopathy or homeopathy, that does not matter. What the patients require, your sympathy and empathy. Matter over. So, dear friends, what is important is that the human approach is very, very important for any tax system. Whatever he said, Arthasastra, Kaudilya and all that, if you see how the bees are extracting honey without inflicting any trouble, any harm to the flower, that is how it has to be there. That is an effective tax system. The end user philosophy. That's why this type of course, that 10 minutes time, 8 minutes time, it is difficult to explain a process. But then the macro picture, I really appreciate Mr. Sampath sir. I did mention to my good friend, the 3-day program, what is for the entire year-wise program, if it is done in a capsule form, that much he has achieved in 3 days as such. The intelligentsia, what is our role? In fact, I represent the CA profession. What is the motto of the institute? The motto of the institute is Yayeshu Subdeshu Jagiradi, meaning thereby we should be awake while others are asleep. That is the role of the intelligentsia. In a country like ours where the illiteracy is rampant, what is the role of the intelligentsia, opinion makers, cream of the society, educated masses? Is to create awareness, Viழிப்புணர்ச்சி. This is what important. So my message for this session is that aware, beware, care, share, dare, be fair, because you are very rare. How many people are there? You take any session in the TV, you can know from the type of person who is coming, what type of stand he will take, you can know it. They are supposed to reflect whatever the views of their party. So what about the viewers who are there? If you really want to know a particular economic legislation is fruitful to the masses or not, who has to do? It is not because the political people have to have their ideology, they have to maintain. So the true reflection, what is impact? If you take the GST, I want to tell you the practical one. I am a practitioner, grassroots person that would say, I am meeting the businessman. Earlier, central excise 1.5 crore was the exemption. 1.5 crores. We used to have 10 files, 20 files we used to have, up to 30 crores. 35 crores depends upon the family. When it is an HUF family, we used to have 30 files, 25 files we'll have. I'm telling you openly, the people will be billing based on 1.4 crores, 1.3 crores, they will stop that particular bill. They try to manage it within 1.5 crores. Up to 30 crores, central excise not payable, even many of the Tirupur units. In Gindi, Ranipet, Ambattur, it is like that. There is a challenge here. When it is shifted to 20 lakhs is the exemption. Subsequently, it was increased to 40 lakhs when Piyush Goyal was the Honorable Finance Minister before the elections. So 20 lakhs, 1.5 crores to 20 lakhs switch over was there. Where in GST, the concept is that you pay and get the credit, input credit. If you don't bill it, the entire system, the cycle will be broken, and whatever you have paid, you will be losing it. This is the concept. Simple thing. You pay and get the credit. And if you are an SME segment, manufacturing segment, and quarterly returns they will be filing, they won't get immediate input credit, your working capital is reduced. Whatever your fund, disposable fund is crippled as such. All along, this gentleman has not paid at all. And how the SME segments in India, whether they are standing because of their product strength, because of their specialization, because of their edge over training their personnel, absolutely not. Many of the smaller companies are there because of the non-compliance with the provision or exemption from the provision. They need not have a regulatory compliance because of their exemption. That is the difference. If 28%, if you are able to save today, earlier the central excise, they need not pay. As I told you, multiple exemptions used to be there. The present concept is that even in income tax, if you have seen, it is called as a horizontal equity. It is not a vertical equity. What he has mentioned in Singapore, when the total value goes up, you pay more, he said, the stamp duty. Ours is not so, actually. So what we have, 2.5 lakhs exemption in income tax is there for basic exemption. It remains there. The reason is, what the government feels, horizontal equity, everyone contribute, except certain sectors like agriculture, which is exempt. They want everyone to contribute. So when you keep that GST, 20 lakhs exemption, which is subsequently increased to 40 lakhs, it is kept at low so that everyone contribute. But many of the sectors in India, they are not in a position to do that. Their business models cannot afford. There are people who have to pay upfront and get that refund. That quarterly thing is killing. Many of the people who used to export to US, I know the jasmine, Madura Malli, export. The export, whatever the packaging coming from Hong Kong and Singapore to preserve. அவன் யூஎஸில் அப்படி திறந்தாங்கன்னா அந்த மதுரை மல்லி மனம் வீசணும். அதுக்காக தான் அவன் வாங்குறான். The packaging cost is more than the whatever the intrinsic worth of the value of the goods which is being done. In this background, earlier there is no need to pay. Now whatever the packaging, you have to pay upfront. and you have to get the credit later on. People who are doing the margin on a smaller one with a larger turnover, they are all affected. The reason is ad valorem duty you have to pay on the packagings, actually. So with the result, people who are operating on a smaller margin with a larger turnover, when that input credit export thing, the exporters could not get it. And Government of India tried their best to open a separate, mela, where all the exporters will get. But then their rotation is 3 times or 4 times in a month, and they could not carry on beyond 3 months. Many of them closed their shops. These are all practical instances where it hit, unintended hit, although we have one nation, one tax, there are issues. But people who are able to comply with the VAT system earlier, they have continued to comply, they are not affected that much because the transition is not killing, because they already adjusted to the VAT system earlier. So these are all certain practical issues. As a professional, as the president of the All India Taxpayers Association, we do represent to the government, and they also, to the extent possible, they do. The complexity is that the state finance ministers who are forming part of the system there, they represent, unless and until it affects the multiple states, they don't take up that issue. So it is possible there are certain products which are hit in many states also. So with the result, people who don't have the capacity, don't have the deeper packets. That's why when this type of thing where it is without any political, professionally, when we share certain idea, we will try to get certain points which will be helpful for us to present a pre-budget memorandum to our Honorable Finance Minister. That's why there is no proxy for intelligentsia. Everything there will be proxy, back-to-back transaction. If you take an engineer, back-to-back. BPO, KPO, back-to-back. You get the contract, try to assign it and get a margin. So whatever, how many number of people you employ, each head carries with it a margin. But then for intelligentsia, your opinion, there is no proxy. When I say about proxy, I want to tell this anecdote. A school inspector visited a school. He wanted to test the quality of the student. Who is a class topper here? One person raised his hand. You are a class topper? Kindly answer the simple question. He was blinking. Then he is very, very unhappy with the student. You are a class topper, you are not able to answer the simple question. Are you not ashamed to be the class topper? Sorry, sir, I am a proxy student. The real student has gone for India-Pakistan cricket match. Then he said, the teacher, you are the teacher, you must know who is the class topper. Are you not ashamed to be the class teacher? Sorry, sir, I am also a proxy teacher. The real teacher has gone for India-Pakistan cricket match. Then the inspector said, you are all very lucky. If the real inspector came, really would have had it actually. He is a big proxy. So there are many NGO organizations claiming they represent true and all that. No, it doesn't. And I really appreciate Mr. Sambat is doing it. And I really appreciate the type of strength, what he has got, that positive strength, whatever he has, positive confidence he has got to organize who is who. And when the tax system is there, sometimes it's a challenging. But then, before I conclude, I want to tell you, we must have the positive confidence. Is there anything called negative confidence? Because positive confidence itself is positive. Is there anything called positive confidence and negative confidence? Yes, in 2008, when there was a global recession was there, a test was conducted. Who is the most confident CEO of the IT industry? 20 top CEOs of IT companies have been selected because in 2008, in the global recession, IT sector affected. They have been taken to an aircraft. There was an announcement in the mic by the NGO organization. You are going to enter into a unique aircraft. There won't be any pilot. There won't be any human element. It is totally run by software. And the fellows got scared because with pilot also, planes seldom land safely. Sometimes planes themselves not traceable. They are telling it is going to run by software. So got scared. The spokesperson of the NGO came and whispered in the ears of every CEO, sir, it is not only run by software. The software is developed by your company only. Then one by one, my father is not well, brother is not well, sister is not well, got down. Finally, one person remained in the aircraft. He was conferred the award, most confident CEO award. He has to give a response speech. How you remained in the aircraft? So they asked him, how you remained in the aircraft? With so much provocation, you still remain there. We really got flabbergasted to see your confidence. Could we share? How you are able to be so confident? He said, it's very simple, sir. If this software is developed by my company, the aircraft will never take off. Why should I worry about it? It will not take off at all. Because he is so confident about his product. It will not work, isn't it? Sometimes people used to say, sir, this system won't work, sir, that will not work, sir, for India it will not be there. So many issues. There are challenges. In the transition side, you find the real estate sector is affected. Because immediately after demonetization, after the GST, there is a challenge. Because the sector is getting from a cash money. So naturally it got affected. If you find automobiles, when there is a change in that model, change in the whatever the emission norms is there, and there is a global. Same thing aviation side. There is a challenge. Aviation, the passengers would have gone up, but still there is a challenge. If you increase the rate, the passenger will come down actually. Viability, sustainability, scalability. These are all the three things very important. For those three things, taxation system should aid. Then only the sector, all the sector, industry will be there. So let me end with what George Bernasha has to say about life. Life is no brief candle for me. It is a sort of a splendid torch which I got a hold of it for the moment. And I want to make it burn as brightly as possible before handing it over to the future generation. This is a very famous statement. So like this, any government, if they want to be, really we should usher in a welfare state, all the stakeholders, they should be concerned with not only one sector, not only this sector, the entire sector should be there. Then only balanced growth will be there. And our tax system, our accounting system should enable, should aim the growth of all the sectors in general. So let me aim high. It is better you get a stiff neck from aiming too high than a hunchback from aiming too low. After all, it is not the years in our life, it is the life in our years that counts. What is the difference between the dream and the aim? Dream requires effortless sleep. Aim requires sleepless efforts. So sleep for our dream, wake up for our aim. India will be in the growth trajectory. Thank you very much for the opportunity.